Hey guys, so in today's video, it's Throwback Thursday, and I just want to tell you a story about my childhood that I kind of find funny. Me and my brothers now laugh about it. Trigger warning though, it is a little disturbing. It's about, one of those creepy uncle type of people, so if that type of story triggers you, then definitely don't watch this video. I try to find humor in all situations. It's really something that's helped me and my brothers get through a kind of crazy childhood. So yeah, I try to just laugh at some of the stuff. But anyway, and also I want to organize my stuff while I do this because honestly, it looks like crap. I'm tired of looking at it and I want to organize it. So you can pretend that you're in my room with me and we're just hanging out and I'm organizing my stuff and telling you a crazy story that unfortunately is a true story. But I guess I'll start the story out like this. Well, first, my dad was in this I guess it is a cult. It's called the Way International. You can research it and make up your mind if it was or if it wasn't. But he was in that religious group, and my mom didn't want to be in it, and he wanted us to be in it. So she took me and my brothers, and we moved to Florida where my grandparents lived. We moved in with them in their trailer in Spanish Lakes. It's like an old people retirement place, and we moved there, and my mom got a job, and we moved into this little house. And on that street, there was a guy. His name was Wolfgang, which I thought was a weird name as a kid for an adult. And he rode a motorcycle and stuff. He didn't do anything to me creepy when I was a kid, but when I became probably 17 or something, I was at this party and he was actually there, and he told me this. I'll be frank, total BS story that I didn't believe, but he said that he actually, in the war, he removed people's fingers and toes and wore them as a necklace. I don't know if that was supposed to impress me. Obviously, that was definitely weird, but he didn't do anything. He was pretty much harmless, other than being a liar and having a weird name. But when I probably became about 10, my dad had been back in the picture. He left that group, and my parents decided to buy a house. And it was like every kid's dream house because it was on a lake. There was actually an island in the middle of the lake, so it was a big lake, and we just wanted to, explore the island and have fun outside and play in the lake. And that's when we met our neighbors, Ralph and Mary. They were an old couple, probably close to their 80s, and they were like a very country type of couple, very redneck, I guess you would say. And they were really, really friendly. They really wanted to, be in our lives, and they really made it known that they loved children. And my mom actually made a comment that he seemed like, you know, he was a child. I can't say the word, but she was like, but no, he's not. He's actually just really nice. And I don't know how dense she was as a mother, but to think that's your initial thought of him, that he's so nice that it's almost like he's a child blank. But she was like, no, he's not. He's just really nice. And to be honest, he did a lot of disgusting things. He would go to his truck periodically throughout the day. I would see him guzzling out of a whiskey bottle. He spit a lot. When he walked by his bushes, he actually had spit, all like a film of spit on his bushes. So that was just revolting. he made a lot of off-color statements and jokes. He was definitely racist. He told me one story also that he had two cats. Trigger warning for this story too for animal. I'm not even gonna say this story, but you can imagine what he did with two cats in a clothesline. And I was a little girl, so I was completely disturbed by that story. I don't know why I didn't tell my mom. But he also hated when kids would jump off the trees on the island. He would freak out and scream about that. And my parents like, oh, he's just old, that's how old people are. Don't, take it serious or anything. But he also hated these ducks. There was a certain type of ducks there, and I actually would go to the island sometimes and just explore by myself because we had like a little boat, so I'd go over there. And one time I found all these duck eggs, and they were like someone had purposely stepped on them. So that was, highly disturbing to me too. But the worst thing that he ever did to me, he would always encourage me to do my gymnastics in his backyard, which I did feel uncomfortable with. I had an oak tree in my backyard, so it wasn't ideal for doing gymnastics, but I just didn't feel like I didn't want him watching me, even as a young kid, I want to be watched all the time. But one time I was at his house and Mary went in the garage to get me a popsicle and he like motioned for me to sit on his lap. And I was like a really obedient kid. I thought, you need to listen to all adults. So I just did it because he told me to. And then he tried to kiss me. He did kiss me, but my lips were closed, obviously. And then I jumped off his lap, and Mary came back in, and I swore to myself I would never go back in that house again. But I didn't tell anyone or anything like that. I don't know why. I was just embarrassed. But I had nothing to be embarrassed of. He was a weird freak. He had a son named Ricky Quarters, and he would play quarters with the neighborhood kids and let them win and give them quarters. So that wasn't too creepy. I just always wondered, like, was he like his dad? He did have a wife too. Her name was Phyllis, and she always wore these white ruffly shirts. She must have had like a million of them because she always wore the same shirt and these like acid washed pants that were like high rise, and she had like a rusty colored mullet. And she honestly always kind of reminded me of like a ventriloquist dummy because she never said anything. um but yeah, my little brother, I feel bad for him because I never said anything. So he kept going over there, and he says nothing ever happened to him, and I pray that that's true. He's luckily dead, so don't worry. He died, and Mary passed away. Mary never did anything other than just being, ignorant. But he was a weird freak, and I don't know how my mom didn't see that. Another funny thing is my little brother used to always go over there and eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And he was like a chubby kid. So one time he was spying on them and he heard Mary say, oh, we can't afford to keep feeding him this many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We're gonna run out of food. We can't keep giving him this many sandwiches. So that was probably like embarrassing for Jake to hear. So I hope you like this story. Like I said, I try to laugh about some of the weird crap that happened to me. Me and my brother will bring up, particularly Phyllis, we bring up a lot about her just being so silent. But yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna try to film a fun video. If you have any ideas or anything that you want to see particularly, I really want to show you guys my house and like day in my life type of video. So I'm definitely gonna work on doing that. I don't really do anything though, so it would be like really boring. I'd have to like make a point of it of going somewhere like maybe I don't know where, but Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good Thursday. That's all for today. Bye.